Hey, it's Brenda back with episode 2, and I've got my very first guest. My guest that I have today is a person that I consider one of my very best friends. We've met probably about 10 years ago through a community outreach for special needs kids. Um, our kids immediately clicked. They became like really good friends. Yeah. They're very, very similar. Um, I did want to throw in here, we're not editing any of this. I wanted this podcast to be like as real and as raw as it could be. So there won't be any editing. So whatever is said is what's said, and that's what gets posted. Um, I um, Without further ado, here's my friend Robin.
Hi, my name is Robin, and I am the mother of, I can say two special needs boys, but Xander is my youngest, and he is my uh, lower functioning child, and then I have a 20-year-old who's my high functioning child. And yeah, I guess I'm here to talk about how that changed my world and the struggles and just the journey that we've been on. Been a long journey, lost some good people along the way, but also earned some great people along the way. Like Brenda, who's doing this podcast. I mean, to think that I would not have met her if I had an average child.
I think about that all the time.
Yeah, is scary to me because she's such a great person. So
You want to
yeah,
talk about some of Xander's like
the background.
diagnosis?
Okay.
Yeah.
So when Xander was born, he was completely normal, average or whatever. At about 6 months, I knew he was showing some signs of delay. And at 9 months, they said, let's start testing. And by a year, we were thrown into the world of just hospitals and diagnosis and what works, what doesn't work. Um, at the time, they were calling him autistic, which, of course, threw us in a loop. We didn't know anybody with autism, hadn't had experiences with it. Um, and we're trying to navigate that up until about when he was 4, and he had his first grand mal seizure in front of us, and that also changed our world a lot, um, and also led to another diagnosis. We did genetic testing on him, and I don't expect anybody to remember this. It's 2q23.1 microdeletion syndrome. And for Xander, that just means that he is low verbal, low functioning. He also has gastric issues. He can't digest normally. He has severe sensory. He has epilepsy. What do they call it? Developmentally delayed. Short in stature. And he looks like a little elf, which is a bonus for me because I love elves. And then
I chew.
Yeah, he can't chew. Yep, that's part of the. Well, he can chew, chooses not to because he can masticate like French fries and Munchkin's donuts now. Which, when he introduced those to himself, I was like, woohoo! I really thought that would open up our world to what he would eat, but it hasn't. But you can see him working it in his mouth, but he still won't swallow it. So he has to spit out those two things, and pretty much those are the only two things that he puts in his mouth. He does have a binky he still chews on, not for lack of trying. Years of therapy trying to get him to put something else in his mouth to be socially acceptable for what he can orally, use, didn't work for us. So he's 18 and he still chews on a binky. Um, but yeah, like I have to blend everything for him to like a stage 2 baby food consistency. Um, because of his gastroparesis, his inability to digest properly, we have spent a lifetime of doing different diets and trying different foods to help him And I can say that at 18, there's still not a day that doesn't go by that he's not in pain, that I don't see him sitting in bed or in a chair just rubbing his belly over and over again. I don't know the magic answer. We just haven't gotten there yet. But um, there's still time. There's a lifetime of time.
Yeah.
His brother was diagnosed with ADHD and Tourette's and Asperger's around 6, and he is about 17 months older than Xander. So that one was a little bit of a challenge, just because having low functioning, what do you do? You know, and then you have high functioning who's smarter, but then social skills aren't there. So
that's a lot to balance.
It's a lot to balance. Yeah, so but we made the best out of it. You know, the best advice that I got that I would give to anybody that's a new parent: do whatever you can, take them everywhere, do everything you can with them until they are cognizant and old enough to say no. Force them, make them. I would take Xander and make him roll in the grass, and we would rub trees, like we would play with bugs, like we did all kinds of stuff. Even as far as taking him, like we would go to Disney because the atmosphere is so different than like your home.
Yeah.
You know,
Trying everything.
try everything until they say no. And let me tell you, once they learn no, it's difficult.
Yeah.
I hear no all the time now. It doesn't mean I necessarily listen to him. He can tell me no, and sometimes I'll respect that, but a lot of the times I won't either. Especially if I think it's good for him.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Like like going to on rides, okay? Yes, he's got, you know, part of his brain is malformed. You know, he's got this genetic disorder. Yeah, why would I put him on a ride? Why wouldn't I?
Yeah. I feel the same way.
Why wouldn't I?
Yeah.
So uh yeah, so we make him go on roller coasters and stuff like that. And it's funny because he loves roller coasters.
Yes.
But
the process to get in
the
there.
process to get, and then like it could be a day, it could be a week, it could be a month. But the next time we go on a roller coaster, he acts like I'm about to murder him. Sorry. Yeah, but it's like dragging him on there, kicking and screaming, and him saying no, 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 and get him on the ride,
and he loves it.
30 seconds later, he's like, more. Yeah. More. You know, it's so, yeah.
It's probably the uncertainty for him.
Yeah, it doesn't know.
And then once he gets in there, he's like, oh, wow, this is fun. But if you hadn't made him do it and go through all that, he would have missed out on that fun.
Correct, yes.
I think it's important, too, for people to realize, too, is that, I mean, life is not guaranteed for anyone, but with our kids, there's that like underlying, it stays in the back of your head, especially with epilepsy.
Yes.
Because Ruby had that seizure right before school started, and I walked in and she was completely blue, and
that gives me chill bumps. Yep.
I didn't think that I was going to be able to get her out of it. And I didn't know how long she was in it. I didn't even realize she was having one until I walked in with her nighttime meds. And
oh my gosh, yeah,
and you realize in those moments that, like, yes, life is not guaranteed for anyone, but it's definitely not guaranteed for our kids, because of the complexities of their disabilities. They could leave this earth anytime, and so giving them the best life experiences is so important. And realizing that they can do more sometimes than people even realize, because they, at the end of the day, they are still kids, or
I mean, and
in your case, young adults.
Yeah, yeah. I know. I keep going. Yeah, my kiddo is, and then I go, wait a minute, he's 18. He's not a kiddo anymore.
He's a grown man now.
Yeah, and I think that's like, I mean, I think that's true for parenting of any kids, like disability or not, like trying not to put our own fears on them.
Yeah, for sure.
So, like, I got a friend who's afraid of heights, so she won't put her child on anything that goes high. That's like, but you don't know that your child's not.
Oh my gosh, I have the worst fear of heights.
Are you serious?
And when we went to Texas, Ruby loves heights.
Oh, does she? See?
And this is just a tale and a testament to my love for her. When I was a little kid, I wanted to go on the Ferris wheel, and my grandpa was really scared and he tried to talk me out of it. And a man behind him had told him, like, you're just trying to, you just don't want to go. Like, she clearly wants to go. And so
That's
my
awesome.
grandpa took me on there, and I remembered that whenever we went to the Tower of the Americas, which is like the second tallest observatory um, in the U.S. And when you get up there, it spins. So like every hour, you
Oh
can see
yeah, that's so
the
cool.
whole
Hmm.
area. And as much as I'm not a fan of heights, I took her on it, and she had the whole elevator like cracking up because she was just fist bumping because you can see as you go up the elevator. And my like heart is in my stomach because I'm like, oh, I don't like this at all. But just see her happy and to give her that experience. And then for probably a couple years after that, I would show her the video, and she would just beam
See, yes.
from like seeing it again and remembering that memory. I'm sure that's what she was doing. But yeah, like
Then now, does she ask for more? Because I don't like showing videos from like, because then he'll be like, "Can we do that now? Can we do that
uh
now? Can we do that now?" I'm like, "Oh my gosh."
I don't like she doesn't really ask for more. I think if she was there, she would definitely take me by the hand and drag me towards it. But yeah, she doesn't really ask for
Okay.
more, but I can tell by her face that it was like a
It
memory
was,
that like
oh,
she cherished.
see?
Um and I mean I would do it again. I don't want to, but she would want to. So yeah, I mean I definitely get that too, is like not projecting our own fears. And a couple years ago we were doing a vendor event for cups, and Ruby really kept looking at the horses. And it was at Stirrups and Strides, the therapeutic
Yes. Yep.
riding place here in Ocala. Shout out to them, they're phenomenal.
Awesome people.
um,
Awesome
they
organization.
we had she kept looking at the horses. And so when the people like the crowd started to deplete, I went ahead and took her over there. And she was really nervous to step over it, but the guy said, I'm not she's not giving up on herself. I'm not going to give up on her. If she wants
Aw.
to keep stepping over, I'm going to keep working with her until she gets up there. And when she got up there, she didn't want to get down. I myself, the only time I've ever been on a horse, the horse popped its stomach out when they put the saddle on, and then pulled its stomach back in, and they hit the butt of the horse and it took off. So I was hanging on for dear life on the side.
Oh my gosh.
But I didn't want to take that from her either. And she's actually probably going to ride for her school this year, as
Yay.
much as it gives me anxiety.
Wow.
But yeah, I
I
mean,
did not know that.
oh yeah,
Wow.
yeah. It was just that one experience. That's all it took for
Side
me.
note, get Brenda used to horses. You live in the horse capital of the world, for goodness sakes.
I know, but I just can't bring myself, like, I don't know.
Interesting.
I don't think I've ever, no, I can say I've never been on a horse again since
Interesting.
then.
We'll have to find an adult therapy
Yeah,
fear of horses organization.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think that is really important to not project,
Hmm.
our fears onto them, and like to just give them the very best life that they
Yes.
possibly can. I mean, you're right though. I mean, everybody should be doing that for their children,
Yep.
because tomorrow isn't promised for anyone,
Yep.
but um,
My
especially with our
my
kiddos.
biggest fear is drowning, and I mean, and not that Xander's drowned, although he did make a point of staying underwater a lot.
Yes, Ruby does that
So
too.
yes,
I
and
think they like
the calmness,
the
maybe.
yeah the
Yeah.
sensory input.
But when we noticed he wouldn't come up for air,
Yeah,
um,
yeah.
we put him in swimming lessons, and it took a long time. And but he does swim. It doesn't look normal, but he does swim. And again, he does like to be underwater for a long time. Um, and my funny story for that is we were at a special needs convention. Well, it was at that cafe,
Hmm.
and we were doing pool time. And I was talking to another special needs mom, and I thought we were getting along great. But she kept darting her eyes over to Xander, who's floopity flopping and underwater, above water, swimming to the deep end, underwater, above water. And she was like, are you going to take care of that? And I'm like, Take care of what? What are you talking about? She was like, your son. She goes, it looks like he can't. I'm like, he's fine. He does that. It's the way he swims. It's no worries. And she said, I can't talk to you anymore. You're stressing me out. I'm like, what? Because I won't stare at my child for the entire time he's in the water. I know he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
If that's not enough for you, I'm sorry, but yeah.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yep. So
Yeah, that's funny that Ruby also shared that too.
Yep.
And after a while, she would like push you away to like so that you couldn't stop her from
yes,
keeping
from
her
doing
head under.
yes.
And like I also have a fear of drowning. I can't swim. So
What? Why am I learning these things
I
on
don't
your
know. I
podcast?
don't know.
All
I don't
right.
know. Yeah, I can't
Note to
swim.
self: horses
I
and
did.
swimming.
I I can't put my face under. So like it's the yeah, and I think the older you get with that, like I wasn't exposed to pools when I was little. I made sure that Ruby was for two reasons. For number one, for that,
Autism. Yeah.
but also like because I didn't have it and I didn't want her to have that same
Interesting.
anxiety. And she was so drawn to the water that I like we would go to the beach and the waves would be crashing and she would just walk towards them. So because I'm not a good swimmer, I never went to the beach without strong swimmers because I knew if she got out there, I would die trying.
Yeah. Oh,
But
that is scary.
yeah, she would just walk towards
Look at
them. I
that.
remember I went to Myrtle, and a good friend of mine, we went to the beach with my friend Heather and her husband Jake, and they're both strong swimmers. And they were even shocked by how fearless she was of the waves. But yeah, I mean, I tried, back when my husband and I were, just dating, we'd go to the gym and we worked for a really long time just to try to get me to be able to put my head under. And I did it. And then COVID hit and the gym
Oh
closed. And so
no.
we stopped being able to go. And then, now like, I would have to start back at square one. It's like really difficult. You really have to
Yeah,
work through
yeah.
that. But I mean, I'm older now, and so the fear I think grows as you get older. But yeah, I made sure that my she at least can paddle enough to where somebody could get her. Um, and it gave them more time because she would just dunk herself under and
Interesting.
just loved it. And I think it is the pressure. I think it's the pressure of underwater. It probably feels so peaceful under there.
Yeah.
She would open her eyes underwater. So like
The
we go into
salt water.
chlorine pools
Oh,
and
yeah.
her eyes would be all bloodshot. And I'm like, oh my God, girl, like
Yep.
you are so brave. Um, but yeah, I can't either. Um, so what do you, what's like one of your struggles that you're going through right now with, Xander and like adulthood?
Okay, so um, I guess just trying to. I haven't officially gone on any interviews on trying to get him into a place to help uh, for things for him to do.
Mm-hmm.
I do need to do that. Part of me maybe feels a little bit burned out. I did spend every waking hour, minute, second trying to find the best possible, things for him and getting him to do stuff. And then until they were like teenagers, and then my oldest, my Brandon, decided he didn't like having everybody at the house all the time. He needed more solidarity, and so of course that took away a lot of the people, and so now it's hard to find the things to do to get together with other people. A time,
Yeah, time's
finding,
a big one.
yeah, like, am I available? Are you available? No, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
And then finding the thing that they all like to do. I mean,
it's crazy because I was talking to someone and they were like, "Well, I'm sure you have friends," and I was like, "Yeah, I do."
yeah.
I was like, but ironically, most of my friends are kind of in the same boat as me. Like when you have a child with like any kind of medical anything,
Mm-hmm.
you're balancing doctor's appointments and medications and making
Yep.
sure all their
Yep.
medications are filled. And
Yep.
you're balancing, like, are they going to be in pain that day,
Yep.
or
Are they gonna have a
are
seizure
they going
that
to have a
day?
seizure,
Yep.
or for you,
I
all of the food prep
yes.
that goes
I
into.
I
There's been so
cannot.
many times where I've called you and I'm like, hey, like, I really need your advice, and you're like, hey, I can't do it right now, I'm like blending all Xander's
Mm-hmm.
foods
Yep.
tonight. And
Or
and
I'm
it's,
cooking his meals. I'm
yeah,
always
like,
cooking. Always.
yeah, and it's like,
Yep.
yes, you have friends, but they're just
Yep.
as busy as you are doing all the
Yep.
things that they need to take care of their kid. And
And that brought up like the biggest struggle of all is like, so Brandon's 20 and he's high functioning and he wants to be more social. Hey mom, can we go to Disney Springs and go walk around for the day? Well, okay, well, if I have Xander, then we have to go check to see if we have enough food for the day. If not, then we have to blend it. Then we have to make sure we have his meds. Then we have to have the change of clothes
mhm,
because,
you never know.
potty training is not,
Yeah,
is never a thing. And then is it going to be too hot? Is it going to be too cold? And if we walk around too long, Xander does have a mobility chair because he can get tired easily and pass out. Um, if we're going to bring the mobility chair, well, then now I have to empty out the back of my car because I got to put his chair in there.
right, right.
So it turns out, by the time you're done talking about it, you're already
You're
tired.
exhausted. Yeah,
You're like, that
yeah,
was fun. Let's eat breakfast and go back to bed.
yeah. It definitely, I think, takes away the
Yeah, oh yeah,
spontaneousness.
there's no spontaneous.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like,
no.
you
Mm-mm.
can't. I know for us, like, Ruby can't really be in the heat, and I
Yep,
mean,
heat is a big thing.
sometimes people ask me, like, why are you still living in Florida then? And my answer is my community, like,
Yeah,
the people that I have here, and the school that she goes to is
it's
amazing.
phenomenal. Yes,
And
and same here.
they don't have that really where I'm from or
Mm-hmm.
anywhere else, like, um, and so, because that would probably be the next place I would move, would be like back to my hometown, but
Mm-hmm.
they don't have that there. So I stay here, but at the same time, there's a big chunk of the year where she's not really able to do much because it's so hot, even in the
That
evenings.
is true. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
and B, she can't be hot because it could bring on a seizure. Dehydration can bring on seizures. With her being nonverbal, she
Yeah,
can't
there's
really
that.
say that
Yep.
she's thirsty. And so there's that goes
Well,
into.
you mentioned the beach. Like Gary and I were huge beach people before
Yeah.
Xander. Like we lived at the beach, but Xander. Now that he's older, we could probably start trying again. And of course, now that we're older, we're heavier.
eh,
I don't
right.
know if I want, but anyway, back in the day, we'd go to the beach and he'd immediately pass out, like
Aw.
pass out, sleep the whole time, and then he wouldn't eat, he wouldn't drink,
Right.
and I would go for 2 hours and then leave. And we had friends at the time would be like, "We just got here," and I'm like, "Yes, but your child is swimming, having fun, eating lunch, drinking his drink, and my child is passed out in the corner doing nothing, and I can't let him go
Right.
longer
Right.
than that in the heat and not eating and drinking or whatever." Um,
I think that was some of what you know myself and Ruby's father would fight over, was like, we would try, like, I never wanted to take the opportunity away from her, because there's a 50-50 chance. Like, sometimes we would go and she'd be fine. And sometimes we would go and she wouldn't be.
yep.
But things, still costed money to go. But
See?
I was okay. Like, if we went there
Mm-hmm.
and she only lasted 20 minutes, we just got back in the
Yes.
car and we went back home, because it didn't bother me, but it always bothered him. So,
So I had a confrontation, a little confrontation with somebody when we could afford like SeaWorld tickets or, God forbid, Disney tickets. So we would go, and we had this other friend who had high functioning
right,
children who could walk, talk, eat, chew, whatever.
right.
And I'm sorry, my low functioning child would just crap out after about 2 hours, and I could tell it was too much for him. And I would say, okay, well, we have to get going because this is unhealthy for Xander at this point. And um, this one person got mad at me. Well, must be nice to be so rich that you can just come and go as you please. I paid tickets just the same as you. And I said, yes, but you know what? My child comes before the money.
Yeah, for sure.
My child comes before whatever money I spent to do at an event or whatever. And at that point, and still, like 18 and having epilepsy and everything he has, I still don't know what tomorrow brings.
Right.
So that's never going to change. And yeah, so we had a little bit of a separation at that point, but I don't feel bad for it because I have to choose him over
Right. And you
what you
have to
think of me.
follow your gut.
Yeah.
Like you have to, every decision that I've ever made for Ruby was, from my gut. I had one center that I went and visited back when Ruby was in pre-K. It was a ABA center, and when I met the director, um, I really loved her. Like I really like I had a good vibe. But whenever I went in there, um, I walked around the facility and I just got this feeling in my gut that I could not, I just couldn't bring her there. And at the time, they were asking me to take away, she would have to come out of her pre-K program to go to that. And she was thriving in her pre-K program. So um, I just made that decision based off my gut. And I don't regret it at all, but like there's no roadmap or no
Oh no, yeah.
direction book for any kid, but there certainly isn't for us. So we have to go
No.
with our gut, and like sometimes it can be disappointing, and that's probably part of the reason why some of us lose some of our friends.
Oh,
We get there and they're like expecting us to be there the whole time, and we can only last 20 minutes because our kid just can't handle it. And, I've definitely been in that situation a few times with like birthday parties and stuff, where,
I
she wanted the balloons down off the wall or whatever,
yes.
and
Yep.
you can't just give them what they want all the time either.
Yep.
So, it was complete meltdown the entire time. And after about, 20 minutes of a meltdown, I'm like, okay, well, we're not having fun.
Mm-hmm.
She's not having fun. I'm not having fun. I don't want to
Yeah.
disrupt this kid's
And
birthday
why? Yeah.
party.
And why would you stay? Because like I had a friend right to my face say, "You're the reason. You're the problem with your child, not your child." And I just looked at her like I didn't know what to say. I just stared at her and I packed up all of our stuff. He was a toddler at the time, and packed up all of our stuff and I left. Now we're still air quote friends, but like we
Right.
talk. That her kids are older teens and mine are too, but we never hung out again. But I knew at her house that Xander was shutting down, and why would I keep my child in that environment? Why would I keep him when I already know that there's something going on? Didn't know what it was at the time, and it wasn't spoiled child syndrome.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Yeah.
why would you do that? And the fact that I chose my child over her, and she's going to say that to me, I'm sorry. Then
That's
you're not a friend.
yes,
Yep.
definitely. And
Hmm.
that it's funny that you say that because I used to get that same hard time over the holidays.
Oh
So
God, don't even. Oh
Ruby hated opening presents for years.
yes,
Hated it.
yes,
Hated it.
yes,
And so and also the tree was like an unsafe thing for her.
yes. Yep.
And so I would get, and she hated collecting eggs. And now that she's older, like, so
Yes.
her version of, and I think I've cracked the code because now that she's older, she's been diagnosed with OCD as well.
Yeah.
And so when she walks out, she sees the eggs on the ground. So to her, that's where they belong. So when you put the egg in the bucket, she gets upset and puts it back on the ground. So I said that, maybe sometime we could start out with the eggs in the bucket and drop them on the ground, and then she would probably pick them up and put them back in the bucket. But like, I got such a hard time from some of my friends that were like, "You're not going to take her to that egg hunt?" And I was like,
Oh my God,
so I can watch
please.
her cry and scream? Like,
Yeah, and
I,
stress. It.
and it's like, for me, it's like that's me projecting my traditions onto her.
Yes.
And there are traditions that, yes, I wanted to do with her, but like if she is that upset,
Yes.
why keep them?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and so we didn't do egg hunts anymore for years. I remember one year I had bought a little tiny spiral tree from Aldi because I was like, I'm pretty sure that this won't hurt her when it drops to the ground when she knocks it over like a cat.
Yeah. Yes.
And it didn't have any decorations on it, but it made me feel good that like I could still compromise and have part of my tradition, but not make it unsafe for her. And I even thought about doing a felt tree on the
Yes,
wall.
those are so cute. Yes.
And her could like she could decorate it with the little felt ornaments. But yeah, I mean, why would I keep you know, going with those things and
Yes.
forcing my child?
Traditions are that's a huge struggle. It's a huge struggle.
Yeah,
And especially when you have family that doesn't know your child, doesn't take the time to get to know your child, um, and then, wants to blame you for, again, it's spoiled child syndrome, whatever. Aren't you going to open those presents for him? Why should I open them for him
yeah,
when he's capable, but he's just not ready yet?
yeah.
He might open it tomorrow. He
I
might open it next week.
ironically, the one year I had roommates. I had a roommate, and she had kids, and Ruby watched her daughter open a gift intently.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the year that I had put everything in a bag for her. So I felt awful. So I let her open everything that was mine because I was like, we're
Yes,
finally
yes,
there.
yep,
Like, we're finally there. And I had let her just open it.
yep.
And I was like, oh my God, I put everything in a bag for you. I was like, because I just didn't want you to have to go through that part. And
Keeping you on your toes.
yeah.
Yep.
And so now, like, she doesn't mind it at
Yep.
all.
We're at the point where we can't put any presents under the tree.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because you know how you buy something special and you wrap it pretty and you're like, oh, this is for so and so from so and so, and then 20 minutes later it's all unwrapped from your child who used to hate unwrapping
Yeah.
presents, and you're like, oh my god! So now we
Yeah.
can't put wrapped presents under the tree
That's funny
until
until like,
Santa comes.
oh, yeah. They
Yeah,
can't sit there for
no,
too long
no,
before. That's funny.
they can't. You can't even do pretty fake presents. He
He's
opens those too. I'm like, come on, man.
he's making up for lost
Yeah,
time. He's
yeah,
like, I didn't like this the whole time.
yeah.
Now I know I do.
Now I'm gonna do it.
That's
Yeah.
hilarious. But yeah, and the family thing is tough too because like um, you know, they might get it, but they don't
Mm-hmm.
get it. There's a lot of things that I mean, Ruby, when she was younger, she did a lot worse with the sensory overload. So like going to like a big event or sometimes like if it wasn't outdoors, like so we had my family reunion a couple years before my grandpa passed, and it was outside, so she handled it perfectly. Like it was beautiful because it wasn't so loud. But there are certain buildings, there are certain lights, the lights in
Yes.
Publix
Yes.
used to really bother her. I had to really work hard to desensitize her and only take her in on like short trips. Um, because it would hurt her head. And there's still stores that now we pull up and she cries because she knows that it's the
Yep.
stores with the lights, um,
Or the people, or the
like
it's just who
Dollar
knows.
General.
Really,
No,
I
Dollar General, do better.
love me a Dollar General.
Those lights hurt her. Like she can hear the
Wow.
frequency,
Oh
and
yes, yes, yeah.
yeah, like
I know what you're talking about. It must be
um,
so much worse for them. There's a new show on TV called Alien Earth. I don't know if you've seen.
oh, I
Are you,
haven't.
are you a sci-fi person?
I am.
Okay.
To a certain degree, I am.
It's on Disney Plus, and what they did was they took dying sick children and they put their brain or their essence or their whatever, but they transformed it into a cyborg. And so there's an adult cyborgs. So they're kids in adult
Okay.
bodies but the reason I brought it up was some of the things that they do remind me of like an autistic sensory thing. Like they can hear certain things, they can, certain things that other people don't think about, they think about. And I'm like, oh, you know what? I'm like, that could be my child.
Mhm.
I'm like, I'm gonna start calling him a cyborg.
Ah,
Sorry.
that's funny. Yeah,
But
that's funny.
yeah, so one of our newest struggles that we've gone through is we just recently lost Xander's social security, which I don't want to say it was a punch in the face because, well, you know what? Yeah, it was kind of a punch in the face, I guess, because we were told on one hand that, oh, he's going to turn 18 and now nobody's income in the house is going to matter and we're just going to reprocess it like that. And then I got a letter saying that, oh, we have decided your child is disabled. Thank you. Um, but he doesn't qualify because of his father's income. And I'm like, but you just told me
Yeah.
the other thing. And I'm like, but so is it? So what they did in our case, they went back 2 years before he was 18. Was it 2 years? I can't remember. Or it was 2 years. No, maybe it was only 6 months. They went back 6 months because 2 years, that would have been a lot more money. They went back 6 months, decided that his father made too much money, are making us pay back that 6 months, that last 6 months, even though he was receiving other items or whatever, and labeled him as inability for SSI because of family income. So then the new letter came that said, well, if your child was found unable to get income from before, he can't get it now.
Wow.
So they changed, and I knew the day they changed. Well, not the day, but because I would call them and I would be on the phone all the time. I would go into the office and sit there for 4 hours, and that one phone call when she goes, oh, well, she was like, you guys, they stopped his social security because of income. I said, no, they stopped his social security because he turned 18.
Right.
And she's like, that's not what we have here. And I went, when did that happen? When did that happen?
Right.
Who, and nobody can ever answer your, well, we're just the people who, take your phone calls is what I'm told now. We don't have any decision making skills.
Right.
We just explain it to you.
Right.
So get me.
And the craziest part about that is they're taking families that already, like we touched on all of the things that we already go through, and giving them these extra battles. Like,
Mhm.
I don't know about you, but I describe every battle that, not every battle, but the battles that I feel like are like just a given. Like, okay, they're 18, they're not going to be able to work a regular job. So in order for them to make any kind of livable wages, their family is going to have to get creative, like entrepreneurship or
Mhm.
something like that.
Yep.
Because in this world, especially, who can live off of 900 and like whatever it is, the max amounts like 910 a month.
Xander was only getting 500.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he was only getting $500 a month.
So who can live off of $500 a month,
Mhm.
and then, making the family go through all of these hoops to just receive like the bare minimum, like it's
Yep.
not like it's a lot. And, there are lots of people out there that are on it that shouldn't be.
Well, yes.
There's lots of people that they're, but for these kids, it's literally like their only livelihood. And in this case, if they, even if like money wise, you didn't need the money, there's avenues for us to be able to put away for our kids, like an able account, to put that money away for
Yes.
when we're gone, because whoever ends up taking care of them when we pass away is going to need that extra income to help sustain them. Like, we're their
Yes.
parents, and so obviously we'll pay, for some of us till the day that we die, but that money could be going into an able account and making a nest egg for those kids. And then I know
Without
for
it
me,
affecting their social
yeah,
security. Yeah.
and then for me, it's like I really just need the medical help. Like, if you,
That's
yeah,
yes.
like
Mhm. And that's my thing. I'm like, we just need help with the medical, and their solution to that is sign them over to the state. So
that's awful.
instead of letting me take care of my child,
Yeah, you're gonna pay quadruple.
yeah, that I gave birth to and raised. Now you want me to just sign him over to you because I can't afford his seizure medication? That's like I don't even, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I
and
don't understand.
I know one time we had an issue with the pharmacy, like something had happened. And so I was like, oh, okay, I'll just pay for the meds myself. It was $1,200 for a month of
Yeah,
her medication.
yeah.
And I was like, oh, no, I won't pay myself like give me that number. I need to call. Like,
yeah, I can't even imagine. Like,
yeah,
this is the first month right now that we're in that I'm going to have to figure out what it is it's going to cost to pay for his.
And that's insane. Like,
Yep.
you know, because it shouldn't go by, like, once they're an adult, if he was a neurotypical adult, he would be technically legally responsible for himself. And yes, the prior 6 months, maybe, you know, he would have been, but it's crazy how they make, like, okay, so you got to go do that and guardianship, but you have to prove that they're incompetent.
Yes.
And get a lawyer and all of that stuff and pay for all of that. But then on the other hand, for the other side of it, Social Security is like, no, they're still legally yours. You know, and your financial responsibility. It's just like, it's crazy how the system is so broken for us. And like, you know, let's not make it one more battle. And like, for me, the battles like this take a piece of my soul. Like, I don't feel, and I'll give her every piece of my soul that I have. But they don't, I'm going to end up without any soul at all by the time this is all done, because of senseless things like that. And I know lots of people that have gone on that journey and have gotten it. So where's the line? You know, like, where's, like,
why do I have to bleed, suffer, cry at night, stress out?
Yeah. And also, like,
constantly give you the same paperwork over and over and over again.
Well, you know, it's funny that you said the, you know, like, the determination of the disability. Like, they had called me in the office one time. She was probably like 8, because she was licking everything at the time. So like, everywhere. No, I know it's funny now. It wasn't funny at the moment, but they called me in there, and I took her in there with me, and they were like, "We're here to determine if she's still disabled." And I said, "Give her about 5 minutes, and she'll be licking the glass, and you're gonna see that she's still disabled." Like, yes, there's improvements, but at the end of the day, they're still severe enough that they couldn't work without some type of full-time supervision. And what job is going to pay our kids?
So for Xander, they're focusing, and I found this a little interesting, for his health packet, to prove he's disabled. They didn't care about the autism. They didn't care about the developmental delays, right? You know, I have an 18-year-old that operates at a 3.5-year-old level.
Right.
They don't care about that. No. You know what they cared about? The epilepsy. Then I had to prove he had epilepsy. You're right. I've just been keeping on medications for.
Right.
And get all the doctors to fill out all the paperwork, and then prove why that kept him from getting a job. Epilepsy. Why epilepsy kept him from getting a job. It's not his epilepsy that keeps him from getting a job.
It's everything.
It's everything else. But the paperwork that they gave me specifically worded why he can't work because of his epilepsy. And I gave them booklets.
Yeah, I bet.
That I wrote. Bet. I was like, right here. Oh, if you need an extra piece of paper, yes, I'll go buy my own notebooks. Thank you. And sent all that in, and for them to finally go, oh yes, well, I guess he is disabled. But they don't recognize, for Xander, they don't recognize his genetic disorder.
Wow.
Because it's rare.
Yeah, and that, I mean, even if they don't want to recognize the genetic disorder, I would think that still all of the other things, because like Ruby started out with autism, and then there was autism and epilepsy, and then there was autism, epilepsy, and Schumann-Mann's kyphosis.
Oh, yeah.
And then there was autism, epilepsy, Schumann-Mann's kyphosis, and OCD. So like, as they get older, sometimes they get more complex and they have more than one, you know, thing, but it all together debilitates them from working a normal job.
Gives you the perfect storm of
yes, being able to, they probably could if a company was willing to hire someone to constantly supervise them. What company is going to be like, yes, I will dedicate a person that's trained enough.
Going to pay them minimum wage to do the job,
right?
Pay him minimum wage to make sure he does the job,
right? It doesn't happen that way. So it's like, you know, they legitimately can't work, and sometimes it is just like, for me, for a long time, it wasn't about the money that she was getting. It was the medical help.
For me, it's the medical, yes.
without that, I have nothing to get her meds. I have nothing. She had, therapies galore. She was in speech from when she was almost 2 till the time she was 9. And, privately, she was going like 3 hours a week. I can't even imagine, what that costed. And then, she had OT for a while privately. There's just been a lot of things that, yes, like I could put her on my insurance at work, but the insurance is not going to cover all, and she gets pull-ups for nighttime,
we still get the diapers.
And so for
not
me,
anymore, I guess, not now.
yeah. For me, it's like, my work insurance isn't going to cover all of that. Yes, they'll cover probably her meds, but they're not going to cover all the additional stuff. And those things are put in place. And to me, it just baffles me because there are a lot of states. I know someone that moved from California to Louisiana to like all these places. And when they landed in Florida, they were really shocked by the fact that this was a state that didn't medically qualify the kids for disability or for, Medicaid. And it's wild that there are so many states that see the need in that. And, because it doesn't matter how much money you're making, and they will cut you just for like $27 over, but $27 over isn't going to cover the thousands of dollars.
Yes, ma'am.
And I mean, it's insane that, and I'm really sorry that you're having to go through that. I'm pretty sure in about 4 years, 4 years and 2 days, 3 days, Ruby will be 14 in 3 days. I'm pretty sure that I'll be going through that same battle. And but I do appreciate that I can call you then. That's one of the
maybe
things.
I'll have more answers for you then too. But I always come to you for answers too, because you have a brain that doesn't stop. And I'm amazed daily at the digging that you do and the things that you find out. You have become such an inspiration, really, just for coming to for like insurance and education, like just knowing that you have that information has been so special for me, in fact, because I found myself as he got older, like just not really giving up, but just I'm tired of fighting 24/7.
Yeah, it's hard.
And then you still have that. They are taking care of what they need to take care of.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yes. I'm like, feed that to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I imagine, by the time she turns 18, I might still have, I might be where you're at, because like the battles that we're going through right now, like I spent 6 months just fighting for a back brace. Her physical therapy came to me and said, we want to try the brace again. We're going to get it custom made. They're going to put some holes in the back of it so it doesn't make her sweat as much, like it's breathable. And then it was like, where is it? And shout out to Advent Pediatric Rehab and Marcid and Chrissy, because they were, for the first time ever, like I was sitting in the waiting room. First of all, when they came to me for the brace, I said, how long is this going to take? Because her insurance is going to be done at the end of December of this year, and we're going to have to switch to, hopefully we can get on Healthy Kids. But she's also lost her Medicaid, and because she lost her Social Security. And I
grumble.
And so I'm like, worried that, and he's like, no, it won't be that long. And I'm like, you don't know our luck. Like, you don't know. And then, 6 months in, he's like, you still don't have the brace. And I was like, I told you, and they really like picked up the baton and fought for me. And it was the first time that anyone had done that for me, like any, like they just pushed it along for me. I can't say the first time. It was like that with her speaking device too. But it was a lady at the same facility that got us that. And she did push through all the paperwork and everything. But he really, like, he was calling every week, every time I was in there, and like it just felt like such a release
to have
someone else
yes.
do it, because, we go through IEP meetings, and, I think there was one that I didn't attend in person because they were just adding a pad for the bus because she was hitting her head on the windows. But I knew it was like a real quick thing. Like they were just gonna and it was all the way across town. So I was like, I don't need to be there for it. I can do it over the phone and say that, yes, I want to add this. But all of those meetings and the appointments and the phone calls
constant.
And then he was like, no, I got it. And I'm going to keep calling. And then every week, Chrissy was asking me, what's did they give you an update? And, these things. And so I imagine by the time, 4 more years and 3 days rolls around, I'm going to probably be where you're at. And I hope that I do have a younger mom that is there, keep fighting. You got this.
With the way the numbers are increasing with kiddos with autism and just other disabilities,
Yeah,
you probably will.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah. And I mean, that is one thing that's
really need her to babysit for us. Sorry.
That is one thing that that's pretty cool about what we have. And, there's a few other moms and and dads really that I know along the way that
shout out to some of those single dads out there.
Yeah.
Kiddos. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, there's a few of those that I've met too. And, what we can do, I seen a post, and it was an autism parent falls in a hole, and the doctor is like, let me give you a prescription for that. And then this person's like, oh, I know where you can fill out a form for a ladder. And then the other autism parent comes along and says, let me climb in that hole with you, because I've been there before. And so I'm getting goosebumps now, because it is nice to have that. And sometimes just to have someone sit with you, but also to inspire you or give you advice, or sometimes even just tell you,
just listen.
Yeah. And sometimes tell you what you're not seeing,
there's that.
You're looking at it from your parent point of view, but then your friend you're looking at it sometimes as a parent point of view too, because I know Xander, he's my kid too. And I look at him like that, but also I'm not his mom. So I'm able to see things from just a little bit different of a standpoint, but also in an understanding form too, where I can come across as you can't say, oh, you don't get it, because I do. And so, it's hard.
And I think that's why I appreciate your friendship so much too.
Yeah, me too. I appreciate yours too. Yeah. And, we do have some differences, with Ruby, when she had started her menstrual cycle, I couldn't call you because you have boys. So, I called my one other friend that I knew that had an older girl. And there are kids that are higher functioning that can handle it. But I knew to call her because her daughter was very similar to Ruby. And
just like Mr. Swag, when I talked to his mom, regarding some of the things that happen with puberty with boys, just to hear another parent's, what they went through, some of the ideas that they had to deal with it and things of that nature. Just knock on wood, I haven't had, and that's not wood. I haven't had to deal with those type of issues yet, but I always have the advice that was given to me and the stories that I've been told in the back of my head should it start to happen. I've just been blessed that sexuality hasn't come into our kingdom yet.
And it's crazy because that same parent, even though she has a boy, she was able to help me in some capacity, because the way she told me to handle it was how I ended up handling it.
See?
And, we were able to get it to where, it was manageable instead of what we were living with at the time. And I mean, that was just a whole chaotic time for us anyway. I mean,
I can't even
seizures
imagine.
That came with periods, and
and then of course we both have the child that likes to decorate with with bodily functions.
Yes.
Xander is the
leave them unattended long enough. Yes, they will.
the Picasso of poop.
Yeah,
So, yeah, that's another time.
yeah. That could be a whole episode in itself.
Gosh. Yeah, we'll have to have pictures of that one.
Oh my God, no, we won't. We're just kidding. We won't.
That would be so gross.
I mean, it's been a long time for me, but the possibility is still there.
I was scrubbing the other day. I was like, oh man, scrubbing a wall. I was like, here we go.
Yeah, that's
sorry.
No, it's fine. I'm just like, yeah, I mean, it is. It's what we, what we go through. It's funny, at school, Ruby liked to stomp on a storm drain. Like, she has these little spots that she stomps on. And she always stomp on them 3 times. So they got time to get into the bathroom.
Yeah.
And so with me, at home, I put this little fake storm drain on the ground in the bathroom. It was like, it's shiny vinyl. And she stomped on it once and laughed at me like, Mom, that's not the same thing. And I was like, listen, I'm trying here. Like, if you could just at least tell me when you're going poop, like some way, somehow. So she started clapping. And it was crazy because she only goes in the bathroom and claps when she's trying to poop. So it was a nice little compromise that we have now. So when I hear her clapping, I'm like, I got to get in there.
We're still working on it. We still don't have a perfect system.
Yeah, I mean, in their own time, right?
Yes,
isn't that there's a country that their word for autism is it means in their own time. And it's true. It's in their we're living in their world.
Yes,
like for sure. As much as sometimes we want to pretend like we're not.
Oh God, yes.
So is there anything else that you can think of?
I just
okay, so we're gonna go ahead and conclude.
I'm sorry.
That's all right. We're gonna go ahead and conclude this podcast. If you guys, if anyone out there listening has any like questions, go ahead and feel free to leave them in the comments. If you have any topics that you'd like to go over, maybe it's something that you're struggling with right now. Maybe it's some type of battle, or even if you have like a just a like warm fuzzy story that you want to share about some victory that you like I would like to have a little segment each week of like a feel good story.
That's a good idea.
Like something that and brings hope to
to us.
Yeah, hope for us.
Even though we're trying to make people feel welcomed and understood, we also like the warm fuzzies.
Yeah, and sometimes you never know when like you need that hope. Like like it could be something so small, and it gives so much inspiration.
Your milestones could be an inspiration to somebody.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. There's days when I definitely wake up and I feel defeated or just deflated.
Yeah. Don't want to get out of bed. Don't want to take the covers off.
It's like, oh no, this again.
Yeah.
But yeah, your story could help, maybe brighten somebody's day. So definitely share those in the comments if you have them. And
you could be getting a call from Brenda. Brenda will put you on her podcast.
Yeah, and in the next probably couple weeks, I got some really cool guests lined up. Definitely, there's some great topics coming up. So if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, like this video, send us your feedback, positive, please. Like we deal with enough negativity. So if something you're gonna say is not gonna be nice,
just do it nicely.
Yeah, just do it nicely.
So you guys really need to, I don't know, maybe suck less. I don't know. Something that's not so negative.
Yeah. If it's negative, just do it in a nice way.
Yeah,
I like that. All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening.